and I stepped on the scale, and I could not believe what I saw. I was shocked. I was floored. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mindy, this is See Mindy Mom, and today I'm going to share with you the results of my 10-day challenge. It was not what I expected, so stay tuned. So if you guys have been watching my last few videos that are sort of weight loss themed, you know that a couple weeks ago I gave an update as to my progress in July with losing weight. I had surgery back in June. Before that, I had gone through just a real stressful period. I had put on a few extra pounds, and I was recommitting in July to trying to get that extra weight off and just kind of try to see the scale and maybe trend downwards a little bit. And so I gave a July update where I did lose a tiny little bit of weight, but where I said, you know, I really feel like I'm not being honest in the way that I'm working, the plan that I'm working, which is counting calories. I'm not tracking consistently. I'm not tracking honestly. I'm really not giving it the amount of effort that I really need to see in order to determine if this is going to be something that works for me. I don't believe that you have to be 100% committed to something that you are doing 100% all of the time in order to see results, especially where weight loss is concerned. I think expecting that kind of perfection from myself is just setting myself up for failure. I need to know that, hey, if I work this plan 80 to 90% of the time, even if I step out of bounds occasionally, I'm still going to see progress. And I think that that is reasonable. And honestly, when I let go of that perfectionist mindset, that all or nothing mindset that I had before a few years ago, that's when I really started to see success with weight loss and with managing my weight. So it's not that I needed to be 100% committed. It's that I still need to be like 85, 90% of the time, committed to the plan that I'm working in order to see results. And when I did the math and I went back and looked at my tracker, you guys, I said this in that update video, I was probably really only about 60%, maybe 65% of the time honestly working the plan that I was supposed to be working. And that's not really enough where I am in my journey, because I'm kind of on the last 10 or 15 pounds, and I've got to be a little bit more diligent if I want to see the needle on the scale moving down. So that being said, I committed to 10 days of being on track, and I had just two goals in that 10 days. I wanted to spend 10 days tracking honestly, tracking what I'm eating, tracking everything, not tracking part of the way and then giving up, part of the way through the day and not tracking the rest of what I'm eating. And that included kind of weighing and measuring, checking my portions, making sure that I'm tracking honestly. And then the second goal was to stay within my 1,700 calorie goal a day, which is the goal that I have set for a very slow, steady, maintainable, sustainable deficit for weight loss. Now, how I came about that number, you guys, I kind of had to do some guess and check. And if you were following me back in the spring, you know that I kind of went through this phase where I was really into metabolism and I was trying to rev up my metabolism again. I have read all kinds of research about adaptive metabolism and how sometimes the yo-yo dieting and the super restrictive low-calorie diets can kind of shock our bodies into maintaining our weight at a much lower metabolic rate. And I'm not going to go into that. I'll just link a video that I really like that explains that concept down below, and you can go and watch that if you want to know more about it. But basically, I started to just eat a little bit more and sort of play around with my caloric intake. And what I figured out is that my body maintained my weight. After just a little bit of a weight gain, my body leveled out and maintained at about 2,000 calories a day. So if I want to lose weight in a sustainable, maintainable way, I decided to cut my calories by just 10 or 15%. And so since I'm a little less active right now, since I was recovering from surgery and wasn't doing really rigorous workouts, I set my goal at 1,700 calories. Those are my two goals for those 10 days. Track honestly and consistently 1,700 calories a day. I wanted to do those two things consistently for 10 days and see what happened, because that should give me enough time to see if it's a plan that's really working for me, to see if that caloric level is working for me for weight loss, to see if this is something that I'm going to be able to sustain and maintain for the long term. So I've posted 2 more videos since then. They're basically what I eat vlogs and just kind of chatting with you guys about how my days are going. I did the first 5 days and then I did the second 5 days, so you can check those out. I'll be sure to link those somewhere via iCard or link them in the description box as well. If you're seeing this video first, you might want to go back and watch that July update video where I kind of came clean and confessed that I wasn't really working the plan, and then the 2 videos that I posted after that, which were my 10-day journey. So now what you all have been waiting for, the results. First off, I feel like I was successful 90% of the time. There was one day in there where I did not finish out my tracker. It was day 9. I talked about it in my second What I Eat, update 10-day challenge video, where I had like 600 or 700 calories for the day, and we were having kind of a clean out the kitchen night, and I just kind of had little small portions of things we'd eaten throughout the weeks, and I knew, you know what, I'm well within 700 calories, and I don't want to have to take the time to track like a small portion of all of these, 10 different things that were on my plate. So I wasn't 100% accurate, but I didn't think that I really needed to be. I told you I was shooting for the 90 to 95% accuracy, and I did pretty well. I did not hit my 1,700 calorie goal a couple of days because I was sick. And I still managed to take in, 14, 15, 1,600 calories on those days. And there were a few days in the very beginning where I took slightly over 1,700 calories. And so I'm considering that it kind of all worked out at the end. Where exercise is concerned, I only walked, and there were even a few days when I was sick and not feeling well that I didn't get my walk in. I was very busy working a music camp for my church that I had been planning for months. And so I was still fairly active, but I did not always get kind of my, 1-2 mile walk that I was taking every morning or every night in. I had thought about starting a run streak on the day that I was cleared for exercise. On day 5 is when I went to the doctor for my final follow-up for my surgery, and she cleared me, and so I could exercise, and I thought, I'm going to do a run streak. That's how I'm going to get back into running. I'm going to jog at least a mile every single day for 30 days. And I'm so glad I didn't do that, because number 1, I got sick, and I would not have wanted to keep that up. And number 2, that would have probably skewed my results. I wouldn't have known if I'd lost weight. Okay, is this really from the running, or is it from the plan that I'm working? And I really want to know, what's the bare minimum I need to do that's sustainable for me and still see the scale go down? I'm gonna take a water break. Anita, I love you. I have my water. See? So today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. It was the 11th. So it was the day after my 10-day challenge, and I stepped on the scale. And I could not believe what I saw. Last time I stepped on the scale, and I told you it was kind of all over the place, I stepped on several times. I took the average of 153.6. That was my last weight. That was my last weigh-in, was 153.6. When I stepped on the scale yesterday, after my 10-day challenge, I was shocked. I was floored. So I stepped off, and I stepped on it again. Same number. I stepped off, I stepped on it, and I took the battery out of it and put the battery back in to kind of reset it. Same number. And the number was 151.4. So that is a loss in 10 days of 2.2 pounds. I cannot believe it. First of all, no, I did not do a bunch of stuff the day before to try to manipulate that number. I ate and drank what I normally ate and drank. My husband grilled burgers, and he uses a lot of salt and stuff when he's marinating them. So it's not like I tried to manipulate my salt intake. I do try to stop, eating and drinking by like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. That's mainly because I don't want to be up all night peeing. I do that anyway. But, I didn't really try to manipulate that. So that really wasn't playing a part in seeing that lower number. I'm just surprised at how low it was in just 10 days. And understand, I wasn't coming into this from like being on vacation or coming off of a binge or coming off of several weeks of not working any program at all and seeing the weight go up and up and up. My weight has been pretty stable, and I had been still, eating fruits and vegetables and drinking my water and actually trying to track my calories for several weeks before this. So to see the scale move in just 10 days by that amount, still eating 1,700 calories a day, which allowed for me to have almost whatever I wanted, I could work a lot of stuff into that. You guys saw my What I Eat It days. They weren't always pretty. I had a day there where I was sick where I basically ate junk food all day long. But that caloric intake, my regular daily activity for the most part, with maybe a few walks thrown in, and that was enough to see the scale go down. So that tells me that whenever I put this kind of effort into it, it doesn't have to be 100%, but somewhere in the 90% range, and eating at that caloric level, I'm able to see the scale go down. I'm super happy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with those results. So where do I go from here? Well, my husband and I are taking the kids on a little mini vacay starting tomorrow. So yesterday and today, I'm still eating my 1,700 calories. I'm still eating my 1,700 calories for those 2 days. For our trip, I do plan to continue tracking because I am not at a point where I can just throw all of my willpower and all of my boundaries around my eating out the door. Like, I can't do that because I'll just be taking like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But I am going to increase my caloric allowance for our vacation days. We're just going on a little 3-day trip. So I'm going to increase my caloric value to 2,000 calories per day. And I'm also going to allow myself to carry some over. So if, for instance, I want to eat, you know, if I only eat 1,800 calories one day and I want to carry over that 200 calories to the next day because it's going to be maybe a higher point day, then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my best to stick with that 2,000 calories. And I'm okay with that because the other thing that I'm trying to do with losing weight this time around is not stay in a deficit for very long. I am in a deficit right now, otherwise my body would not have shed weight. That is not all water that it took off. Some of it might have been, but some of it wasn't, I'm hoping. But I am not going to stay in a deficit for more than 2 to 3 weeks during this weight loss effort this time around. And so every 2 to 3 weeks, I am going to try to bump my calories up a little bit and maybe even all the way back up to maintenance to the 2,000 calories a day for a few days, maybe even a week, and then bump it back down so that I'm consistently going through these cycles of eating at a deficit and then eating at maintenance and eating at a deficit. That I'm hoping will keep my metabolism revved up and not allow my metabolism to adapt to this lower caloric rate that I'm giving it whenever I'm in my 1,700 calorie days. And that will allow me to continue shedding weight without my body totally adapting so that I can continue eating a decent amount of calories, which for me is key. Because whenever my if I can lose weight at 1,700 calories a day, if I can maintain it at 2,000 calories a day, I don't really need to go off on any binges because there's just about anything that I can fit into that if I plan accordingly. So I feel really good about that. I will say that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a weight loss expert, I'm just a mom trying to do the best she can for her body so I can be around as long as I can, so I can feel good about myself and my body, what it's doing, and feel good about the way that I look and the way my clothes fit. This is just what's working for me, and I'm sharing it with you. Everybody's got to do what works for them. I have found that super restrictive diets just not going to work for me in the long haul. I'm going to have to do something that allows me to have some flexibility, which is where the calorie counting comes in, because basically anything that fits within my calories is fair game. So that's what I have for you guys today. Hopefully that's not a jumbled up mess that's all over. I'm very pleased with that weight loss, 2.2 pounds. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm going to increase my calories for a few days, and then when we get back from our little mini vacay, I'm going to go right back into that 1,700 calorie a day goal, and I'll weigh in the following week and see where I am, and I'll be sure to report back to you guys as soon as I can. As always, thank you so much for dropping by. I'd love it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment and let me know how you're doing, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.